Good afternoon and welcome to the Public Service Commission for our regularly scheduled business meeting. Before we begin, if you'll join me for a moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you. We'll start with a roll call of commissioners. Present in the hearing room, we have Commissioner Powers and Commissioner Belser. Joining us via WebEx, we have Commissioner Williams, Commissioner Irvin, Commissioner Caston, and Commissioner Thomas. Chairman Williams is on military leave today and is not joining us. General Counsel Wessinger Hill.
Thank you, Vice Chair, and good afternoon, Commissioners. The first order of business would be to set the next Commission business meeting. Staff would recommend that the next regularly scheduled meeting be held on Thursday, June 23rd, 2022 at 2 p.m.
That's fine. Our next business meeting will be Thursday, June 23rd at 2 p.m.
The first item on the utilities agenda is in docket number 2022-191G. It is the request for approval of the agreement for transportation service with firm gas standby between Duke Energy South Carolina Incorporated and McIntyre Joint National Guard Base.
Commissioners, you've heard item number 1 identified by Ms. Wessinger Hill. Is there a motion?
Madam Vice Chair,
Commissioner Thomas.
I move that the Commission approve the agreement for transportation service with firm gas standby between Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated and McIntyre Joint National Guard Base. The contract is in compliance with the standards set out in Commission Regulation 103-403D.
Commissioners, you've heard the motion of Commissioner Thomas to approve this item. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Powers?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin? Commissioner Irvin?
He's muted, it appears.
I think I heard you write it. Say again? Aye. And I vote aye. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
Madam Vice Chair,
Commissioner Thomas?
Ms. Wessinger Hill may have said the agreements between Duke Energy, but I think we got that clarified in the motion.
It is. It's Dominion Energy, South Carolina, and McIntyre Joint National Guard Base. If there was a misstatement, thank you for noting that.
I apologize, Commissioners. Item number 2 for the Commission's consideration is the application of Duke Energy Progress, LLC, for the approval of its residential energy efficient appliances and devices program in docket number 2022-41E.
Commissioners, you've heard the item 2 identified by Ms. Wessinger Hill. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Williams?
Thank you. I move that the Commission approve the application of Duke Energy Progress, LLC, or DEP, for the approval of Residential Energy Efficient Appliances and Devices Program. I further move that the Commission require the company to file a benefit cost analysis with a summary of the cost effectiveness of all programs according to the 4 cost effectiveness tests, which are the utility cost test, the participant cost test, the total resource cost test, and the ratepayer impact measurement test, to be reported annually, coincident with the annual DSM EE rider updates through the evaluation, measurement, and verification process. In addition, the company shall specify the efforts or measures that the company has undertaken to improve the effectiveness of these programs. I so move.
Commissioners, you've heard the motion of Commissioner Williams to approve item 2 with the conditions as stated. Any discussion?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Powers.
Madam Chair, I was in a cybersecurity training and did not attend or participate in the hearing and will not be voting on this matter.
Thank you, Commissioner Powers. So noted. Any further discussion?
Madam Vice Chair,
Commissioner Caston.
I have not seen a specific defined purpose of utility EEDSM programs other than what is written in Section 583720. I believe one of the main reasons for these programs is to save money for the utility and its ratepayers. If this was not the case, I do not believe that statute would have included, and I quote, "Commission may adopt procedures that encourage electrical utilities and public utilities providing gas services subject to the jurisdiction of the Commission to invest in cost-effective energy-efficient technologies and energy conservation programs." And further on in the statute, it says, if adopted, these procedures must provide incentives and cost recovery for energy suppliers and distributors who invest in energy supply and end-use technologies that are cost-effective, environmentally acceptable, and reduce energy consumption or demand, allow energy suppliers and distributors to recover costs and obtain a reasonable rate of return on their investment in qualified demand-side management programs sufficient to make these programs at least as financially attractive as construction of new generating facilities. If it costs the ratepayer more, and I end quotes, but if it costs the ratepayer more for these programs than the construction of new facilities, then something's wrong with these programs. From a practical point of view, and I believe the utility has stated this similarly in the past, the purpose of EE and DSM programs is to reduce energy demand, flatten peaks, and slope of demand projections, so investment in infrastructure for generation and transmission can be deferred and provide more time to invest in infrastructure, which in my view should produce lesser, slower growth in rates. If you check the pre-filed testimony in this case, there was no information provided relative to cost effectiveness test other than the UCT, which was not overwhelmingly above 1.0. I believe it was 1.22 as I recall. If you check the transcript, only under questioning did the company witness acknowledge that the proposed program was well less than 1.0 relative to the TRC and RIM. I also believe outside of questioning, there was no information on the free ridership of programs such as the water saver devices that are commonplace now. I do not believe 583720 was intended solely for the benefit of the utility and to provide a favorable rate of return at the expense of the ratepayer. The TRC indicates the ratepayer's cost will go up, not decline or be neutral. The forward-looking RIM test indicates the program will increase the ratepayer's rate. Why for programs it costs the ratepayer more than it would if the program was not approved? My initial thought was to not recommend adoption of this ongoing previously approved program. This said, I believe a more prudent course would be to ask these questions and have greater transparency and accountability by the utility. If these programs prove not to be win-win for the utility and the ratepayer, then they should not be continued. I think the Commission has a statutory discretion to approve EEDSM programs that are mutually beneficial to both the utility and the ratepayer. I believe it is only mutual if the ratepayers are collectively gaining more than they are paying. Should programs not achieve an objectively mutual benefit for ratepayers, then they should not be approved, or in the event they are existing programs, they should be discontinued. Madam Vice Chair, I will be supporting this motion, so when we vote, I will vote appropriately.
Anything further, Commissioner Caston?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers is recused. Sorry, I looked at the wrong Williams. Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin,
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
I vote aye. The ayes have it and the motion carries.
Commissioners, staff would recommend that item number 3 concerning docket number 2021-361G be carried over until the meeting on June 23rd, 2022.
Item number 3 will be carried over.
Item number 4 is in docket number 2019-387A and relates to the Commission's review and approval of some public utilities initial customer data protection guidelines as required by Regulation 103-823.2 for all electrical, natural gas, water, and wastewater public utilities.
Commissioners, we've heard the item number 4 identified by General Counsel Hill. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Powers.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the commission find the latest guidelines for utility customer data protection and privacy are filed in this docket to comply with Regulation 103-823.2 and that the commission does approve the customer data guidelines for the following electrical, natural gas, water, or wastewater public utilities listed. And I would list those, Madam Chair. The electric and gas utilities are Dominion Energy South Carolina Incorporated, Duke Energy Carolinas LLC, Duke Energy Progress LLC, Lockhart Power Company, and Piedmont Natural Gas Company Incorporated. The water and wastewater utilities are AAA Utilities Incorporated, Blue Granite Water Company, Condor Environmental Incorporated, Tufusky Island Utility Company Incorporated, Georgia Water and Well, Hamilton Haynes Waterworks, Hyde Park Water System, JACABB Utilities LLC, Kiowa River Utility Company Incorporated, Lakewood Utilities LLC, Lake Wiley MHP Utilities LLC, Ocean Lakes Utilities LP, Pine Haven Water System, QH Lagoon LLC, Scotland Yard MHP Incorporated, Sliding Rock Water System LLC, T&M Utilities Incorporated, Total Environmental Solutions Incorporated, Upstate Water Resources Incorporated, Water Supply Company Incorporated, Wrights Plumbing and Utilities Incorporated, and the following Southwest Water Company affiliates: Kiowa Island Utility Inc., South Carolina Water Utilities Inc., South Carolina Water Utilities CUC Inc., South Carolina Water Utilities PUI Inc., and Palmetto Wastewater Reclamation Inc., PWR. I further move that the Commission ask the Office of Regulatory Staff to continue its efforts to contact and work with all utilities about following the required customer data protection guidelines for approval with the Commission in compliance with Regulation 103-823.2, and that we also ask ORS to provide a status report no later than August 15, 2022, on any remaining utilities that need to file customer data protection and privacy guidelines. I so move.
Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Powers with regard to item 4. Any discussion?
Madam Vice Chair,
Commissioner Thomas.
I was on annual leave during the hearing, so I will not be voting on this matter.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Powers?
I vote aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas is not voting, and I vote aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Commissioners, item number 5 concerns the addition of a deadline for filing public comments related to the petition of the North American Numbering Plan Administrator and docket number 2022-141C.
Commissioners, with regard to Utilities Agenda Item 5, is there a motion?
Madam Vice Chair, this is Commissioner Caston.
Commissioner Caston.
I move that the commission establish a deadline of July 15th, 2022 for any person who wishes to have his or her comments considered as part of the official record for this proceeding to submit or present such comments in writing to the commission and all parties of record. I further move the commission instruct staff to issue a public information notice following the drafting of a proposed CIN and the solicitation of feedback from parties. I so move.
Thank you, Commissioner Caston. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Caston in item 5. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Item number 6 is in docket number 2021-130S and concerns the appointment of a hearing officer.
Commissioners, we've heard the item 6 identified by General Counsel Hill. Is there a motion?
Madam Vice Chair,
Commissioner Thomas.
I move that we appoint C. Joanne Weisinger Hill, Esquire, as hearing officer in docket number 2021-130S.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Thomas in Utilities Agenda Item 6. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Utilities Agenda Item number 7 is the request by the Office of Regulatory Staff for a procedural schedule concerning the receipt of comments and replies from regulated utilities about the Federal Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act of 2021.
Commissioners, we've heard item 7 identified by General Counsel Hill. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Williams.
Thank you. I move that the commission establish the following procedural schedule for any interested person or for any electric, natural gas, water, and wastewater public utility, also known as a regulated utility. Any written comments related to the Federal Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act of 2021, including any related grants and loans, shall be filed no later than July 15th, 2022, and number 2, any written reply comments must be filed no later than August 15th, 2022. I further move that the commission staff is authorized to make any adjustments in this procedural schedule as needed.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Williams with regard to Utilities Item 7. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin.
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The ayes have it. The motion carries.
Madam Vice Chair and Commissioners, that does complete the utilities agenda before the commission today, and I'll move on to the motor carrier agenda. Items number 1 and 2 are both applications for Class C charter certificates, and staff would recommend that these items be taken together. I'll briefly review them before the commission. Item number 1 is in docket number 2022-185T. It is the application of I-58 Incorporated for a Class C charter certificate. Item number 2 is in docket number 2022-189T. It is the application of Southern Comforts Limousines and Luxuries, LLC, for a Class C charter certificate.
Commissioners, you've heard items 1 and 2 on the transportation agenda identified by Ms. Hill. Is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Powers.
I move that the commission approve the applications for a Class C charter certificate and items number 1 and 2 is listed by Ms. Weisinger Hill.
Thank you, Commissioner Powers. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Powers. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Powers?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Williams?
Aye.
Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries.
Commissioners, item number 3 concerns dockets number 2005-83A and 2009-167T. It relates to the passage of Act number 214 of 2022 and the request by Commission staff about notification to all motor carrier certificate holders wanting statewide authority, so that the certificate holder must notify and request an amendment from the Commission to an existing certificate for statewide authority.
Commissioners, you've heard item 3 on the transportation agenda as identified by General Counsel Hill. Any discussion? Is there a motion?
Madam Vice Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Commissioner Caston,
I move that the commission instruct the clerk of the Public Service Commission of South Carolina to notify all current motor carrier certificate holders that they must notify the commission if they seek to amend an existing certificate to read statewide authority. The clerk may use any available means to provide notification to all motor carrier certificate holders of this directive order, including but not limited to notification and service by email if the commission has an email address for the carrier, and notification and service by U.S. mail for any carrier that the commission does not have an email address or the ability to electronically serve via the DMS. The clerk is further authorized to prepare and issue a public information notice and to have a summary of this directive order with a link to the order on the commission website. I so move.
thank you, Commissioner Caston. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Caston with regard to transportation, agenda item 3. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to a roll call vote. Commissioner Caston?
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Powers?
Vote aye.
Commissioner Williams?
I vote aye.
I vote aye. The ayes have it and the motion carries.
Item number 4 also concerns the same dockets, docket number 2005-83A and 2009-167T, and the changes concerning the passage of Act 214 of 2022. However, item 4 is the request by Commission staff concerning notification to all existing Class E household goods certificate holders that their current rates on file with Commission will be considered their respective maximum rate schedule and shall be posted on the Commission's website.
Commissioners, you've heard transportation agenda item 4 as identified by General Counsel Hill. Is there a motion?
Madam Vice Chair,
Commissioner Thomas?
I move that the commission instruct the clerk of the Public Service Commission of South Carolina to notify all current Class E household goods certificate holders that the current rates on file and approved by the commission and posted on the commission's website prior to May 23 of 2022 shall be deemed and considered the company's maximum rates. The clerk may use any available means to provide notification to all Class E certificate holders of this directive order, including but not limited to 1, notification and service by email if the commission has an email address for the carrier, and 2, notification service by U.S. mail for any carrier that the commission does not have an email address or the ability to electronically serve via the DMS. The clerk is further authorized to prepare and issue a public information notice and to have a summary of this directive order with a link to the order on the commission website. So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Thomas. Commissioners, we've heard the motion of Commissioner Thomas. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we will have a roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Thomas.
Aye.
Commissioner Powers.
I vote aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Caston.
Aye.
Commissioner Irvin. Commissioner Urban, could you repeat that? Thank you. I vote aye. The ayes have it, and the motion carries.
Madam Vice Chair and Commissioners, this concludes all the business notice for consideration by the Commission today.
Thank you, Ms. Hill. As that concludes our business on the agendas for today, we will adjourn this meeting, and our next regularly scheduled business meeting will be Thursday, June 23rd at 2 p.m. Thank you.